Good evening, Lake Orion. Well, like the short hair look? Well, summer's slowly but surely coming back, even though it's fall. I'm your host, and I am Between Taorminas. Yes, indeed. It's Between Taorminas here on ONTV. I'm your host, Anthony Taormina, here with my brother, Sammy. Sammy, how you doing?
Tired.
Tired? We've both done a lot the last few days.
Way too much.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
Way too much.
For those of you guys in the community that you know that we work for Lake Orion Athletics, and we also work for other things, but, we've been really, really busy working with Lake Orion Athletics.
Yes, we have.
Yep. So let's talk about something. Speaking of high schools, let's talk about the situation at Detroit Renaissance. This has made a lot of headlines because of this was a situation where Detroit Renaissance was picked number one in the state.
This was a coup d'etat.
This was a parent complaining to the head principal who had recently came into Detroit Renaissance that his son was not getting any playing time, and the principal fired the head coach. This was a state championship team, and all this is happening, and it gets even better. Sammy will bring us the thread.
It's really interesting what's going on over there at Detroit Renaissance, and I think what makes this sad and all that is, as you mentioned, they had a state championship caliber team over there. They did name a new coach over there. And what's going on over there is just basically a soap opera. Now, the principal, of course, she came in from Birmingham Seaholm. Really looking at the picture here, this is like a soap opera gone wrong. Of course, originally she made a decision to fire Vito Jordan, who was currently the former head coach of Detroit Renaissance. Hired, of course, Mark White, who used to coach at River Rouge. Now, he accepted a job first, and then he turned it down.
He used to be a former coach at Renaissance.
He used to be a former coach at Detroit Renaissance, but he turned down that job to stay at River Rouge. But just recently heard River Rouge just fired him. And basically, now you have Detroit, and they hired a former coach from Detroit
Old Redford Academy.
From Detroit Old Redford Academy. I think his name, I know his last name's White, but it's a different White. But it's just a mess, And Vito Jordan filed a lawsuit against Verona Strogner, who is the principal at Detroit Renaissance, along with Detroit Public School Community District, in a federal court. Of course, and now this is for unlawful termination, and it's just a mess. And you got players threatening transfer out of Detroit Renaissance. It really
transfer deadline passed.
Transfer deadline's already passed. I mean, so it wouldn't surprise me that if everything's just going downhill for that Phoenix basketball program. That I said on my podcast this week, I called the Phoenix boys basketball job probably the most toxic job in the state of Michigan right now.
They said that she gave a review of all the athletic programs. Now, this brings up a couple questions. Who should be making decisions in regards to athletics? Should it be the principal or should it be the athletic director?
Well, that's an interesting question because when you look at the principal controls the building. The principal's basically in charge of everything he or she sees. Basically, the athletic director reports the principal. So, but you open up a good question. The athletic director, works intertwined with the principal. And I think if if the athletic director, I personally, and this is my own opinion, I think the athletic director should have power to hire and fire coaches. I mean, like, that's just my opinion. Now, there's a lot of other schools that have different opinions. I mean, it's a really toxic situation. How it's a toxic question, but it's a good question. But you have it's. I think personally, and I know people are going to disagree with me, but the principal runs the school. Principal controls everything, it controls everything, and but in athletics, I think that you have an athletic director there, you know what I mean, in charge of games and everything and events, the athletic director should decide and hire and fire coaches. I mean, like, I know Detroit Public Schools is a lot different rules than you look at all these other schools, where usually the athletic director has more control, but down in Detroit, it's a little bit more different down there. And there's other schools that are different too, you know what I mean, that basically has that. But I know the only school district I know in Detroit for sure has this rule where, and even in River Rouge and Wayne County, you have to apply to keep your job. You have to apply.
It's a yearly
contract.
It's a year contract, whether if it's on paper or if it's a handshake deal. I mean, it's crazy.
It is. I mean, it is. But at the end of the day, when you look at it,
organized, not organized, I don't know.
At the end of the day, the principal decided to make a change, and she decided to go a different direction, and now you have possibly 8 players thinking of leaving for other schools. I mean,
or sitting out,
or not playing at all. I mean, like, where will they go? And and you had parents that did support Coach Vito Jordan over there, and we're thinking big time dreams. But I guess
what happened
was
still got big dreams.
Yes, but I guess the principal over there decided to go a different direction.
This brings up another point, and it is a very it's often another controversial point, is parent involvement in athletics. Because usually you have, a lot of times you got really, really good parents. But there you have some that like to be, that like to grow within their kid. They see themselves within their kid. Now, at the same time, you have most times parents are typically calling for the coach's head. It's the issue of playing time. It's the issue of little Johnny or little Rebecca didn't get enough minutes or didn't get to play at all. I mean, it's just
it's a controversial. It's a very controversial subject. I mean, like, when you look at but you gotta understand. I mean, and you're part of a team. You're not. I mean, like, people don't understand the team concept at times, and and basically, I'm saying is, play within the team. Play. I mean, like, be
part of the team.
Be part of the team. You know what I mean?
Embrace the team.
Embrace the team concept, and that's what sports should be all about. Now you're looking at today's society. It's all about the college scholarship, which I don't think that should be the proper point, but it is. So when I look at it, I'm saying, if you're not playing a lot, and my year when I played football, I didn't play a lot, but I was part of the team. You know what I mean? And you. I mean, like, you enjoy that ride with your team, because, that team's going to be there with you forever. But, but
not everyone's like that.
Not everyone's like that.
It's all, I mean, you make mention, it is about college scholarships. It's about, getting that free ride to colleges. Because to be honest with you, do parents really want to pay for their kids' scholarships?
No.
So, I mean, that's what it's becoming about, where parents are banking on their kids to get scholarships, and they're looking at the coach and saying, can my coach take my son or daughter to the next level, to that college level? And I mean, that's a good question.
It's a good question. You know what I mean? Basically, with it, I mean, you got to understand, you know what I mean? Like, I know the culture we're in now, you know what I mean? With everybody chasing the scholarship, chasing the chasing, But at the end of the day, these kids are just kids. You know what I mean? They're
that's
trying,
more than kids.
That's the most important thing here. I mean, let them
This
enjoy.
impacts the kids.
Let them enjoy their schooling. Let them
Their
enjoy
sophomore and junior year and senior year. I mean, let them enjoy
high
it.
school. Let them enjoy it. I mean, and at the end of the day, as I've always said, the colleges are gonna look for you. You don't have to go to the college. The college will look for you.
Point well taken. So, any final thoughts on the Detroit Renaissance situation? Obviously,
it's still
they're
far
going
from
to
over.
court.
It's
They're going
still
to
far
court.
from over.
The Renaissance is already named a coach, but it's uncertain if he's going to coach yet. You've got the whole court situation. You've got the courts could force Renaissance hand to keep Coach Jordan around. We'll have to see how it goes.
This case is far from over. I mean, but at the end of the day, she decided to go a different direction with the program. I'll be curious to see what the fallout's going to be from this. And I talk a lot about this in the podcast about who benefits from this, particularly in the OA front of things, when you look at Oak Park, basically.
Oak Park play and Renaissance are in the same district.
In the same district, so I think at the end of the day, there's some teams that benefit from this fallout, but there's others that do not. And unfortunately, the losers in all this is the kids. I mean, the kids. Look at River Rouge. They lost their head coach because of this situation.
Their kids
and
are
Detroit Renaissance
down.
just lost their head coach because of this situation.
Their kids are down.
This whole situation could have been avoided, but instead, now we are here.
All right, we'll be right back between Taorminas here on ONTV.
Hey, it's ONTV here. Now, have you ever had the urge to create your own TV show, or you just wanted to see what goes behind the scenes of making a TV program? Well, ONTV has just the program for you. ONTV offers studio and field production classes that allow you to take control and create the programs the way you want them to be. We will introduce you to media literacy skills and the fundamentals of program production in order to acquire the basic training needs for ONTV equipment use. To get started, all you have to do is sign up for a free ONTV orientation, where you will learn all about ONTV and all the opportunities available to our volunteers, as well as meet the ONTV staff and take a tour of our facility. After that, you can register for one of our production courses. Both the studio and field production courses are only $10 for Lake Orion residents and $25 for non-residents. For more information about ONTV's production classes, feel free to call us at 248-393-1060 or go to orionontv.org and click register now to sign up for classes. We hope to see you soon.
Welcome back to Between Taorminas here on ONTV. I'm your host, Anthony Taorminas. Sammy, how you doing?
Hanging in there.
For those of you guys wondering where Ian is, we don't know where he's at either. So we'll get back to you on that. So let's talk about the Lions. The Lions had a good Monday night, but then they got heathed by the Cowboys. And you know the old expression.
I feel bad for Jeff. What happened to him against Kerryon Johnson?
He got a stinger.
Yeah, he took a stinger.
He's coming back. He'll be back next week.
But when you look at the Lions, and it's hard for me to explain this, and this is a hard football team to explain, considering that they still got big time problems. Jared Davis cannot play pass protect. Look what Dak Prescott did to him with Ezekiel Elliott. They can't stop the run. Ezekiel Elliott had a big game. He had 259 total all-purpose yards. Basically helped fantasy owners.
Yeah.
Whoever had him. But the Lions, this is a mess. I mean, their line is atrocious. Their defensive line is atrocious. Jared Davis is overrated. And they have not been able to cover anybody.
It makes you wonder, do you think that the game Monday night when the Lions beat the Patriots... Sunday night. Sorry, I'm getting my days mixed up. Do you think that it was more about the Patriots or was it more about the Lions?
I think it was more about New England because the New England only had 3 healthy bodies at wide receiver. And that was one of the reasons why the Lions won that game. What else didn't help was... The injury of T.J. Lang, that did not help things for the Lions.
Especially that offensive line.
Considering that this is a position where they need to address with the offensive line. The defensive line, I think, is really soft, and it's showing right now why they're soft. The linebacking core, they still need some work, especially where Jerry Davis is at. I thought he played terrible. The corners, of course, Quandre Diggs got hurt in that game. That didn't help things, but the Lions defensively is a mess right now. I mean, you can't rely on Matthew Stafford to basically come and save your skin.
Or even Darius Slay on defense.
Or even Kerryon Johnson. I mean, the Lions need balance offensively. I mean, like, Kerryon Johnson only had 60 yards. And he had 100 yards last week against 2 weeks ago against New England. I mean, they need to create balance.
Do you think that the Lions, that win on Sunday night was very emotional? Do you think that the Cowboys took advantage of the Lions' emotional win, or no?
No, man. I think that the Cowboys and Patriots are different opponents.
Right.
Dallas didn't really have a true passing game. They don't have a true passing game. Except when they're playing the Lions, everybody makes you look good. Dak Prescott found his passing game. Ezekiel Elliott went absolutely nuts. And the Lions have big problems against great running backs. Ezekiel Elliott's a great running back. I can only imagine what Dalvin Cook's going to do to him. I can only imagine the rest of that schedule, considering this week they play Green Bay. And Green Bay, we know, is a very good opponent. They have Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback.
Yep, that's at Ford Field, isn't it?
Yes, at Ford Field. But they have players like Vontae Adams, Randall Cobb.
Randall Cobb might not play this week.
He might not play, but I think but the Lions cure a lot of people's problems, especially fantasy owners. But the Lions are, I think this could be a shootout. I know Green Bay's got Clay Matthews and Clinton Dix, but I see this being a shootout. But end of the day, I think that Green Bay will go into Ford Field and get the Lions to 1-4 on the year.
Now, the Lions being 1-3 right now, does this mean that when the division is still, it's brutal, but it's still, you know what? The Bears have been very impressive.
You know what? I'm going to give the Vikings a pass because they played two really tough. Well, they should not have lost to Buffalo, but they played the Rams. But the Bears are good. They are legit. When they got Khalil Mack from Oakland, that solidified that defense. Mitch Trubisky's getting better. You have a two-head running back headed monster in Tariq Cohen and Jordan Howard there. You got a receiving core, you got a receiving core there who I think, and Allen Robinson, who's really good. I mean, Chicago, they know how to develop a team real quick, and this is the same thing if you're a Lions fan, that you are just sick to your stomach. Look at what Chicago's done, and look what the Lions have done. I mean, Chicago has developed a team in about 2.5 years, and now they're relevant, and the Lions have not been relevant.
I think a lot of Lions fans would disagree with you.
They are not relevant right now because of the fact that the Lions don't know how to develop a football team, and the Bears, on the other hand, they know how to develop a football team.
What did Carl Barnes do to you?
Nothing.
What did Jay Sherrod do to you?
Nothing. So I'm telling you guys right now, if you're a Chicago Bears fan, you are loving
What did
life
Reggie
right
Hamilton do to you?
Nothing. If you're a Chicago Bears fan, you're loving life right now. The Lions right now are heading for the cellar in the NFC North, and I've told Christopher Bell the same thing.
Coach John, the AD of Lake Orion High School.
I told Christopher Bell this. The Lions are going to be in the cellar in the NFC North, guaranteed.
You've guaranteed the Lions are going to be in the cellar?
In the NFC North, absolutely.
What's your take on the Cowboys going forward?
Top division with them with Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia's class the NFC East. The Redskins are decent. The Giants are terrible, even though Eli Manning tortured the Texans. I think Dallas right now, third place right now, maybe second place, but right now the class the NFC East is Philadelphia Eagles.
So you think the Lions are done?
Yes.
Okay.
They've been done for about 2 weeks now.
Okay.
Ever since their game one loss to the Jets.
Oh, that was horrible.
Yes, it was.
Any final thoughts?
They're done.
We'll be right back.
Hello, Oakland County. This is Sammy Taormina talking OAA Now. In it, we'll talk various stories ranging from the state to Oakland County teams affecting the OAA. Catch us here on OAA Now.
Hello, Lake Orion. It's Anthony Taormina, co-host of Between Taorminas. I want to let you know of a new show called History Now. In it, we're going to talk about global, national, and political events that occur in our lifetime. We're going to also have guests and also have co-hosts as well, and also plenty of surprises. Catch us on History Now here on ONTV. Welcome back to Between Taorminas here on ONTV. I'm your host, Anthony Taormina. Sammy, how you doing?
In there.
So, we got hockey season starting back up.
Yes, I'm excited for hockey to start.
And you have said, and you always say, that the Dallas Stars are going to win the Stanley Cup. And you think the Wings are going to really struggle, even though they've had a successful preseason.
Preseason don't mean nothing. It doesn't mean nothing. And we all know that Bill Reese, Eric Jennings, Jim Manzo,
Can you explain all these people to our viewers who don't know who
and
they are?
especially Bob British, who all four of them need psychological help. And, of course,
Who are those four people? Explain.
one is a beloved Tampa Bay Lightning fan, who I think is going to be in the Stanley Cup final this year against the Dallas Stars.
Okay.
Another one needs psychological help real bad because he's a Michigan fan and a Dead Wing fan. And another one is a big-time Dead Wing fan. And the other one, former beloved athletic director at Lake Orion High School, who also needs psychological help, especially with his hockey team.
But you're talking about somebody, you're talking about...
Let me finish my point here.
This is coming from a guy who likes Canada and Brazil.
So let me get my point here. So I'm telling you all right now why the Dallas Stars are going to win the Stanley Cup this year. Jamie Benn, Tyler Seguin, Alexander Radulov, very young defense with Mikko Heiskanen, who's going to play really well this year. He's an impact defenseman. They just traded for a defenseman from Toronto for a 7th-round pick. But there's a goalie named Ben Bishop who is going to have a bounce-back year. Now, people say the Western Conference is going to be the kiss of death.
It always is!
Particularly the Central Division.
It always is!
You know, when you look at Nashville, St. Louis, Winnipeg, Minnesota, Colorado, Dallas, and
St. Louis?
I just said St. Louis.
Chicago?
So when I look at the Central Division for the Western Conference, it's going to be really tough again.
It always is.
Always is.
Why don't they just realign the divisions?
Want to send Colorado to the Pacific? That makes sense.
It's easier. Much easier division.
Much easier division, sure. But you got the Vegas Golden Knights who have improved there. I think San Jose's overrated. I think Anaheim's overrated. I think LA's overrated.
Didn't I hear a poll predict San Jose would win the Stanley Cup?
That ain't going to happen, so don't worry about it.
Or no, Toronto would win the Stanley Cup over San Jose.
Because of the fact that Errol Carlson's over there in San Jose. But I'm not buying the Sharks hype at all. Really, I'm not. I mean, I got some questions at goalie. I got some questions. Other skill players. Joe Thornton's getting a little older. So they got some questions there. Anaheim's a joke with Getzlaff and Perry. They're nothing but a bunch of cowards. And the LA Kings, overrated, even though they got Drew Jolly.
The Queens.
I haven't talked East yet. The Eastern Conference, Tampa Bay still the class of that division.
Even though Yzerman's left.
Even though Steve Yzerman's gone, Tampa Bay's still the class of that division. They're deep, they're talented. And I think the Florida Panthers, you got the Toronto Maple Leafs, they're going to be solid with Steven Stamkos there. They go with Austin Matthews. But watch out for the Florida Panthers. I really like the Florida Panthers with what they've done this offseason. I think the Panthers could be a playoff team this year. So you watch that team in Sunrise, Florida. Now, if you're a beloved Detroit Red Wing fan, they're not making the playoffs this year. And it's pretty simple why. Because Cronwell's overrated. Jamie Howard's overrated. I mean, They don't even have their top pick, who is still in the minors. That's stupid what they did. And Detroit's just basically going to be rebuilding from scratch. They don't even have a captain right now.
But didn't they say like a Dylan Larkin or somebody?
He
like
is not that good. Dylan Larkin's not that good. Athiu, he's not that good. No.
So you would say that to a lot of the Red Wing fans who watch our show.
Yes, that Larkin's overrated and Athiu's overrated.
What if the Wings make the playoffs?
They will not make the playoffs, so don't worry about it.
What's your take about the Avs this year?
Young team. I really like Lansdowne a lot. And McKinnon. Make McKinnon. It wouldn't surprise me if he does win the MVP. He'll win the MVP. But being in that Central Division is not an easy thing, and I think Colorado is going to be fighting for that last playoff spot to get in. I think they will not get in the playoffs this year. Defense scares me, but I think Colorado is going to be a high 90-point team this year, but they will not get in the postseason.
I'm so disappointed. All right. What about you got any final thoughts?
Well, we'll see what happens going forward. I know that the NBA is coming up this year.
LeBron and the Lakers.
I'm sorry. You know what? I did a fantasy basketball team this year, so I am looking forward to.
I'm just seeing how the Lakers will do this year, especially with LeBron.
I think the
That'll be
Lakers are a
exciting.
playoff team this year.
Well, I mean, they're a playoff team.
I think
no
the Lakers
doubt,
are.
no denying
I think
that.
Lakers are a
But can the
playoff
Lakers go far? That's the question.
I think they're a playoff team because.
What about the Pistons? You think that?
You know what? I'm gonna make Joey Tyson happy here. 8 seed, Detroit Pistons.
You think the Stones are going to be the 8th seed?
Yes.
I think they're missing out.
I think they're going to be
The
the
Lakers
8th seed.
are coming in. The Lakers are going in the playoffs.
Well, the Eastern Conference is not that strong.
I know it's not that strong.
The Lakers are going to be in the playoffs. Pistons, I think, will get the
The
8th
West
seed.
is once again brutal.
But the best team in that Eastern Conference, though, I know Joey Tyson's going to disagree with me here on this, but I think it's Toronto Raptors. I think the Toronto Raptors is the best
Toronto,
team.
really?
Yeah, I like what Toronto's done. Picking up Kawhi Leonard. Boston Celtics are right there.
I think Boston's the best team.
I think it's Boston. I think it's Toronto. Best team in the West. You know, I think it's
Still Golden State.
Still
I mean,
Golden
it's the
State.
class of the West.
But I think
Can't
the
count
Lakers.
Houston out.
I think the Lakers will give them problems this year. I
Can't
really
count
do.
Houston out either.
You can't count Houston. Can't count out.
San Antonio could take a step back.
No, they'll take a step back.
Well, we'll
But
see.
I like them. But I really like the Lakers. As long as LeBron James is healthy, they're gonna go places.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Lonzo's team. It's LeBron James' team. And I think Cleveland's making the playoffs again this year.
I don't know about that. All right, that'll do it for this episode of Between Taorminas. Looks like Ian Weatherspoon might be in Cleveland, Ohio, rooting for the Indians. That could happen.
Possible.
All right, so have a great night. See you soon, and take care, Lakewarden. Ta-ta for now.